today, COVID-19 circumstances and wellness and connecting our personal upgrade to what's going on today, I want to go back and show you a couple of slides that I've been showing for the last 2 years prior to COVID-19 and to the lockdown, to many businesses and organizations when I was delivering wellness workshops and mindfulness workshops and mental fitness workshops. So I want to show you a few slides and you will understand why I'm showing you this. So these are prior to COVID-19. So we're telling people about the human revolution and how we evolved as human beings, and you can recognize right to your right this last picture where we all behind our computers like I'm right now. And then I was reminiscing about what the world was like 25, 30 years ago. You know, when you couldn't put your phone into your pocket, and you have to wait for a phone call at home, or you had to make a phone call when you were at home, or you had to wait outside in the street to make a phone call. You had to wait for your favorite program to start, and it would probably last only half an hour, and then you had to wait till it will start next day. And then if you wanted to make pictures, you could only take 36 shots on your camera. Then you had to wait for them to be developed, put them in your album, and wait for someone to come to your house and show them. So you could hear me saying a word wait many times. Wait, there was lots of waiting time. So people, you know, there was lots of idle time for our brain. And then I would transport people into the now, and this is prior to COVID-19, as I said, and this is how it looked. And I'm sure you can all resonate with it. So my favorite quote was that we process more information in one day than we did in a year 25 years ago. Imagine the amount of information that's going into our poor brain. It's crazy. Obviously, we can't look away from our screens, you know, and we hear things now how technology companies, they make us addicted to these little apps to spend as much time on social media as we can. On average, we're forced to make 35,000 conscious decisions daily, because everywhere is a choice. Look at me, you know, everyone wants you to click on them, to read them, to interact with them, to like their pictures. And if you Google something, it will follow you. Buy me, you know, you have to make this choice. So no wonder everyone felt so overwhelmed, like our attention span was everywhere, constantly distracted, constant rush hour, like really going really fast. And you know, on a national level, we didn't even really deliver any productivity gain, which was interesting as well. So I was saying to people, we created this very sophisticated car, very fast, it's going really fast, everyone's like going really fast, but no one knows how to slow down, and no one knows how to stop and when to stop, and how to, you know, how to pivot around the corners. And I was asking people, what do you think is going to happen in this situation when we driving really fast, going as fast as we can, even faster and faster? And people were saying to me, it's going to crash. And, you know, and I'm sad to say, it was almost like a premonition. It did crash. And COVID-19, the reason virus has spread so fast is because we were moving so fast as well, didn't we? Traveling so fast, you know, communicating and moving around and everything, not paying attention, going on autopilot. So it's a real opportunity, as Nat said in the beginning, for us today to reinvent how we look at, you know, how we interact with the world, what is our business purpose, like how we can really bring something different to the world and make it a better place. And it's serious today. You know, it's not just words. We have to start thinking about it. So when I turned up in this situation where we were on a lockdown, I couldn't go back to work, I couldn't socialize, I felt stuck, I felt these different emotions, and I felt sadness, and I felt a bit of anger, and I'm sure you've gone through all these different emotions as well. But what helped me is this remembering the story of Nelson Mandela, and he said about himself and his years in prison. And I went for a long holiday for 27 years, and he came out of prison after 27 years to become a president of his country. And I thought, what a spirit, you know, I'm complaining about a few months in a lockdown when someone's been in a prison in isolation by himself for 27 years. But it's interesting how, you know, what a strong spirit this person had. And of course, also Nelson Mandela said that the most difficult part of his isolation was dealing with his mind, because the mind is quite tricky. It can trick us. And today we all have to realize kind of where our mind is, how strong our mind is, and how strong our mental well-being is, because we're all in the same situation today, dealing with our mind, whether we're on our own most of the time, or whether we even with our family, which we didn't expect to have 24/7 with our families and our kids, and that's can be quite challenging as well. And why it's difficult, why do we have to be aware when we deal with our mind, is because these are the things that are happening to us today. They are the things that our mind doesn't like. It doesn't like uncertainty. It doesn't like when it's not in control. It doesn't like not having a purpose, a focus, and motivation, like going somewhere, having this goal. It doesn't like breaking routines and, you know, all your favorite things you like doing, and social isolation. And of course, it doesn't like financial and health pressures. Like it's feeling that kind of pressure and risk and being tense. So we all have to face our minds today when we deal with all these kind of different situations, because I'll show you later, our mind doesn't perform its best in this kind of environment. So I want to ask you for this first question, and feel free to speak up. I mean, I said there are lots of things we're not in control today, but what are the things that in your control today? Anyone wants to share? Some simple things, guys.
Can you hear me? Yeah. Hi everyone. I was finding that having no routine and no purpose in the day was actually making me more. I've never had anxiety before. I've never been somebody who takes stress. I can take it quite well, but I found that having no plan, because the world didn't have a plan, was really affecting me. So I printed off. I have this, which has worked for me and my little one. It's like a daily plan, and it's time: the morning, the afternoon, and the evening. And today's things on it was just tidy up and go. The morning was the wellness meeting, and I had a meeting this morning. In the afternoon, I had to take some wallpaper off the spare room, because your house becomes your project. So I hired myself as a project manager, but I had an interview. I did really well, and I got the job. I was thrilled. But putting things that are in my control is what I do in a day. And also technology. I work in a technology building. My business and life at the moment is run through technology. And I found that I listen to, one of the things I do each day now is listen to a podcast, a positive podcast, because it's obviously good at the moment. But it cut off from technology. So I had 4 days last week. There was no phones. We had a burner phone, which is, you know, the little ones from Tesco. If you needed me, you could contact me through there. So clients could phone me, but I couldn't go on any social media. I couldn't go on any emails. I couldn't do anything. And that 4 days away strengthened my mental health more than anything that I've been doing. And I'm a huge ambassador for technology and how it's an integral part of what we're doing. But I found having 4 days away from it, completely cold turkey, was the most productive I've been in 5 weeks.
Great. It's amazing, Carla. Thank you. Wow, brilliant.
Things like that, really. What you can control is what you do in a day. And if you don't want to do anything, that's fine, because you chose not to do it.
So we have plenty of control, as you've just demonstrated. We just have to get out of the old way of thinking, oh, I lost my old kind of routine, I create something completely different, and that will take time. Because what you're doing, you're learning about yourself, and what you've just learned is amazing, like how this 4 days of digital detox gave you this kind of power and ability to think positively. Anyone else, guys? Thank you, Carla. That was really inspirational.
Yeah, I think that it's Natalie here. I think controlling your reaction to things and choosing to believe that people are coming at it with the best intention, because we are all communicating in a new way now, and sometimes people aren't that used to communicating in that way, and it can come across a little bit, I don't know, maybe curt or unkind, but I believed that really they didn't mean it that way, and to choose that reaction, I think that's the other thing, is to realize that everybody's trying to learn a new way of communicating and relating with people, and to choose your reaction to that. So that was my kind of big takeaway.
To be more compassionate, I guess.
Yeah, just to believe the best in people, I think, and believe that even if something comes across in a way, they probably don't mean it, and you don't know what they're dealing with, you know.
Exactly.
It probably isn't about you. So just to believe that, you know, people's intentions are right, and yeah, that's freeing, actually.
Brilliant. Thank you, Nat. Okay, anyone else, guys?
I was just going to say, actually, to add on to Nat's and Carla's, like, sort of like a mixture. I think it's about making a choice on like how you're going to wake up in that day. So like I have suffered with like my mental health, and like I can quite happily say that. But I can wake up and go, I'm going to have a really bad day today, and because I've got that in my head, I usually have a bad day. But just waking up and going, I'm gonna be all right. I'm gonna make myself a list. I'm gonna do a caller. I'm gonna make myself a list. Everything's gonna be fine. And it's just, I feel like happiness is sometimes a choice, but we don't make it a choice. We go, no, someone else needs to make us happy. But I think it's down to yourself as well, isn't it?
Very profound, Holly. Very profound. Yeah, beautiful. Thank you for sharing. Yeah. It's how we rely on external circumstances to make us happy, and that today we probably all have to take some time to realize that actually it's in our control, no matter what.
To reiterate one of the things that I've always found helpful to do anyway, is sometimes list 5 things you're grateful for. It's what me and my daughter do.
Dan, yeah.
Do the 3 things,
your mindset, and as soon as you're grateful for stuff, then actually you can come from a space of not only acceptance but also realizing that we're all pretty lucky, and that kind of frames your day. Change the way you look at things, and the things you look at change, as the saying goes. But change everything, so maybe just change our mindset. But that's just me.
No, it's beautiful. Wow, guys, you're so you're kind of like you're so aware, and yeah, absolutely. Like I mean, what you've just mentioned is our scientifically proven #1 model for happiness, because we'll talk about later. That just helps to rewire our brain differently. And when we were moving on autopilot so much, we just didn't have time to stop and realize what we make ourselves depend on, and our happiness depend on. And today's our chance. Thank you, guys. We'll have more opportunity to chat. This is a guy called Tim Ferriss, and he wrote his book Short Life Advice from the Best in the World. And for this book, he interviewed 140 people across different fields, but they, like, at the top of their field, they're very successful people. And he found that 90% of these people, they reported having some type of a daily mental fitness practice, as a mindfulness, meditation, or journaling, or something that helps them focus. And so 90% of these successful people, they have some type of daily mental fitness practice, so they know what they're doing. And why do they have that? I wanted to show you this picture of our brain. And our brain consists of 2 parts. It's our old brain and our new brain. And our old brain is very competitive. And if you can look at the parts of our old brain, it's a reptilian brain, very, very ancient part of our brain that's responsible for our survival and our instincts. And then our mammal brain, responsible for our feelings and our emotions, you know, feeling territorial, kind of sometimes when we feel this is mine, I'm going to protect that. And then there's another part of our brain, is our human brain. Guys, sorry, can you put yourself on mute, because I can hear a little bit of noise. I would really appreciate that if you mute yourself. Thank you. Yeah, so the human brain is that's where we have infinite learning potential. That's where our compassion, self-compassion resides. That's where we have our ideas, visions, you know, our imagination, our logic, everything. So very huge potential. Human brain contains huge human potential in there. But what happens, as you can see, our old brain is very competitive, and our reptilian brain that's responsible for our survival jumps in every time it sees a threat. So it's very difficult for our information, for our neural pathways to go into our human brain, which is much more balanced and is not as afraid. So if you, in a less scientific way, this is how our brain looks like, especially in the face of uncertainty, lack of control, lack of purpose. Our crocodile gets very active because it wants to protect us. So our reptilian, our ancient part of the brain gets bigger. It says, okay, there is a threat. We don't know what's going to happen. I'm going to protect you. And of course, it's not the most intelligent part of the brain. It's based on instincts, and that's why daily mental fitness practices, or things you've already mentioned, being aware, proactively taking yourself into this human brain is very, very important. Otherwise, we become the victim of our own crocodile. And that's how our head looks like. It's just full of negative thoughts, full of like, oh my goodness, what's going to happen? I don't know how to cope with it. And I want to share with you a few secrets about our crocodile brain, our reptilian part of the brain. It's not designed to make you happy. It is wired for your survival. So it will constantly look for the threats, and it will not stop until it kind of gets resolved. It loves negativity. It thrives on drama, thrives on negative news. It can stay on a phone and continue reading about, you know, some people, they're doing crazy things. I know many people, they continue refreshing the COVID-19 number of deaths in each country, and they report it to other people. And it's like, oh my goodness, like the crocodile brain is really in charge to do that. Imagine just constantly counting how many people died in each country. And this is not human brain. Human brain wouldn't want to do that. And then the last thing, I think, when we talked about this 5 things to be grateful for, this is directly related to it. It's about how fearful, negative, and hateful thoughts are like Velcro for our crocodile brain, where it likes it. It just kind of grabs it and stays with it. And then positive, grateful, and loving thoughts, they just don't stay with our crocodile brain. It just kind of lets them go. And if you don't believe it, I'll give you a simple example. Imagine you had a conversation with someone, and someone complimented you first, but then gave you some kind of negative feedback or criticized you. You'll go back home, and all you'll be thinking about is this part where you were criticized, most likely, but you will quickly dismiss and forget the part where you were complimented. And this is just the nature of our brain. I don't know how many of you know this guy, Alex Honnold. He overcome his crocodile brain, and when neuroscientists scanned his brain, they realized that his crocodile brain, which is called amygdala in scientific ways, is very, very small. And that's why I don't know how many of you watched his documentary. If you're not scared of heights, I always get sweaty palms watching him, but he's doing all these crazy things without safety harness. And I'm not inviting you to do any of this. Also, I've seen some kids, after staying at home for so long, they're climbing over walls. I don't know how they do that. But what I'm saying to you, when your crocodile is getting smaller and smaller and doesn't have and you actually start using your human brain more and more, you can do extraordinary things in your field, no matter what the circumstances are, because you get your focus, you're very precise, you're very present, you're very focused. And Alex is just kind of an example of of human potential, extreme human potential in his own field. But that's what we all can do if we get over our crocodile brain and make it smaller, which we can do in a physical sense as well. So talking about 5 things we're grateful for, I want to ask you, what are 5 positive things that came up with COVID-19 and lockdown for you? Anyone wants to share?
Yeah.
Anyone?
Yeah.
Oh, not you said it.
I'm just writing them.
Ah, okay.
I was just writing them first. Yeah, I think I'm enjoying my local environment more, because we're always shooting about and being here, there, and everywhere, and being you know, obviously in quarantine, we've gone out for local walks. We've discovered an amazing pond that I didn't know was there. I've been out in my garden, you know, that family time that I'm really grateful for, and just enjoying really simple things like not used to go to the supermarket and just fill the trolley with lots of stuff just because I thought I knew I needed to do shopping, but being very conscious of need rather than, you know, a sort of greed, if you like. So yeah, I think that those are the sort of the things that I'm really grateful for, the simple things and what we have that we probably took for granted, actually. So I'm really grateful for that.
Beautiful, simple things. Yeah, being more aware, more conscious, and yeah, not just greedy and needy. Yeah. Anyone else, guys? 5 positive things.
I don't know if I've got 5. Mine was time, that I got time back to stop. So, and in that time, I couldn't have had more fun with my little one, just playing and having this moment. And his thing is, when we do 3 things that we're grateful for. But some of them is just grateful that we have a dog to play with, or we have a garden. But just having the time to play and hang out, and that's one thing that my son's constantly saying, how grateful he is that we have this time together to just hang out. We always had time together, but this is different. We're actually being no more than a few meters apart from each other for going on 6 weeks, and he's so much fun to hang out, and I'm learning about him and his levels and what he's like, and I'm really proud of him. I was proud of him before, but he's like the best isolation person, so the time that we will never have this time back. Yeah. And then also on a work front, it's looking at your business, because you can step out because it's shut. All of them are shut. And just to go, actually, we're on the rat race, the same as everybody else when it comes to mental health. But now we've stopped. It's like, is there a more effective way of running these businesses? And there was, but we had no time to stop. Yeah. So the time-wise and what you do, and exactly what Natalie said, when it comes to food and what you actually need. I'm a trained chef, so food was always been a big thing to me. But also, it's been so nice cooking and buying food you need for that week. You're not impulse buying and just grabbing need before greed. 100%. Yeah. That really, and seeing, yeah, just to think, and grateful seeing all the local suppliers. Like we always use local suppliers at work, and so seeing how busy they are and how well they're doing. So the guys who deliver all our sausages for Social 7 and Penelope's, they're just delivering to my house. They've never been busier. The bread guys, they're delivering all over Manchester. We get our fresh bread delivered every few days. It's like, it's nice, and it's nice to see other companies growing when others aren't doing so well. And also the basics, finding a pond that you never even knew existed, Natalie. Yeah. Things like that you're like, oh. Yeah.
Thank you. Thanks for sharing. I think you had more than 5 actually in the end. Anyone else, guys?
I was going to say mine's, I've got a few, but one of them is I've got the most cleanest oven, and that's because I know it sounds ridiculous, but like cleaning really helped me, and like with my way I am, and sometimes when I'm a bit anxious, I do like to clean. So cleaning the oven, fantastic. And probably another one is like I realise I can do stuff on my own. So like if I'm in work, I'm constantly asking, is this okay? Is this okay? And I feel like I'm just doing it by myself now, and I'm getting a lot more confidence with like my day-to-day tasks. So like I'm seeing that as a big takeaway. Obviously my oven is great as well, but yeah, that's what I've taken away from this.
Important, very important, Holly. Of course your own, but also your sense of confidence. Yeah, as you said, being able to do things on your own and given that kind of getting more confident. Thank you. Thanks for sharing. And we already feel like lighter and like, wow, because every time you share it with someone, the other person sees opportunities as well. You know, it's like spreading this positivity, and that's what we need to do more. And I have been encouraging businesses in the past to start their meetings with this gratefulness exercise, to finish them off, you know, just to have more human interaction and more human connection. And hopefully today will become more important. So it's not going to be just business, so we are like robots. We're going to now start nurturing that human part of ourselves, which is very, very important. So talking about entrepreneurship and productivity, as some of them, I think Carlos mentioned, this is your morning plan and you hope it's gonna go like straight line and you would do all these things. But then often this real day, it's very different. Sometimes you don't have energy. Sometimes you're just like no motivation and you're just like, or some obstacles, or, you know, it could be various things. And you're like, oh, I haven't accomplished much today. And again, it comes a lot to our mindset and our brain, and also how we use our attention, because our attention span is limited. It has daily limit on it, and it depends where our attention is going. Is it going inside our thoughts, our kind of feeling sad and feeling lonely, or is it going all on social media, or are we watching endless Netflix? Or are we watching what other people are doing? And it's okay to do that, but in small portion and really controlling your attention. So I want to ask you, if you look at your day as a whole, now with the lockdown, it's been now for quite a few weeks, where do you find your attention goes to? Do you spend lots of time, for example, reading news or going on social media, or or is it more on family, on food, on sitting in your garden, on reading, or working? Anyone wants to share?
I think it's a mixture between social and a mixture between chilling and doing nothing. Depends what your mood is that day.
Yeah, mine's definitely social media. I spend way too much time. I know it's my job, but I do spend way too much time on it. So, yeah.
I realize you probably could spend less time.
Oh yeah, definitely. What Carla said when she came off technology for a few days, I've done that for the weekend and I felt amazing afterwards. I realised you don't need your phone, and you don't need to spend hours like scrolling through Instagram, and you just don't need it really. So yeah, that's definitely something I struggle with.
Yeah, I'm developing a new product, so yeah, in response to this, so a lot of time on business development, but yeah.
The time to be creative for you.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Which is perfect for that. I think it's really, because you don't feel the pressure of everyone's running on this rat race. You have that space to create, and I think certainly I can resonate with it. I find, and quite a few of you said, you can step back, but also you have this space now to create, because your mind doesn't have this pressure anymore. It's, you know, you have time to evaluate, reflect, and then create something new, something different.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Working on her business as well, looking at different ways of doing things. I think it's a gift. It's a real gift.
It is, absolutely. That's again a different angle of looking at things and using it as an opportunity, and just you know, it's a nice way to talk about the power of choice. So we can choose to be a victim of circumstances, or we can choose to be hero, a victor. And it all depends on where our attention goes and what we want to do with this time, because our mind can really trick us. Because it got used to being dependent on external circumstances, what's going on externally, it tricks us that it's not in our power to start creating things for ourselves, to start figuring out what our routines should be like, to start making our own decisions about where we should put our attention to and what makes us happy. So if you're stuck in a victim mentality, you mostly find yourself feeling fearful, having negative thoughts, having some kind of anger and pain, and it's probably you will probably be making more unconscious choices and feeling like you're still going on autopilot and you're not really there to make decisions. Things don't depend on you. And you know, each single of us have these moments, but it's up to us to decide how long they're gonna last. We all allowed to be in this mentality sometimes. You know, we are human beings, and it takes us time to adapt to change. But of course, we also absolutely in our power, even with a simple exercise, positivity exercise we just did, it's our power to start facilitating victim mentality within ourselves. And victim mentality comes with our conscious choices, like you just gave us an example with shopping. You know, very simple, but definitely very different way of shopping, very different way of cooking, very different way of connecting. And this victim mentality comes from cultivating states of courage, of faith, of gratitude, and of love. You know, love to your people, to your family, to maybe people you at the moment disconnected with. You can't see them, but this is a daily work to cultivate this kind of mentality. It's not going to come to you automatically because it's never been. It's not something that our society promoted. So it's up to you to start thinking, okay, what mentality I'm in today? Am I in victim mentality or victim mentality? You even can start checking with yourself hour by hour, and even simple things like gratitude exercise, like being mindful, being present in your garden, to nature, to sunshine, to the rain. Having a face, having a vision will start helping you to cultivate victim mentality, and it will take you down a completely different path. So I'll give you a few formulas to how to cultivate victim mentality, so it's not just me talking about it. The first thing, mornings, as a few of you mentioned, are very, very important because our brain needs dopamine release. And dopamine release is like a feel-good thing. It's like I've achieved something. And when you have this feel-good feeling, you can do more things. It's like a wave, you know, you're like a surfer. You catch the wave in the morning, and then it can take you. If you didn't catch the wave, it's fine, but maybe try and catch it the next day. This is a 15 formula. 15 means 15 minutes, or it could be 5-5-5. It could be 30-30-30. It's up to you, but this is just an example where you do 15 minutes of intense physical activity, or maybe some more kind of a slow way of exercising. But ideally, you want kind of to feel like upbeat, maybe dancing. 15 minutes of journaling, meditation, or gratitude exercise, and then 15 minutes of learning something new, like listening to a podcast, just feeling that sense of achievement. Oh, I've learned something new, I've realized something, or I've written something down, and you will see that already will set you up for the day. Another one is, if you obviously have to focus on work, the 60-10 method. It's quality focused time, but also quality recovery time. And I highlighted quality recovery time because we also have some other ways of recovery time where, you know, we're just watching Netflix or scrolling on social media, which is fine, but there is some quality recovery time which really gives us an opportunity to reset ourselves. One of the examples of quality recovery time is this feel-good exercise that it only takes a few minutes, and I invite you to do it right now with me. So basically, all you need to do is you sit straight. You can just close, not right now, but when you do it in your own time, you can close your laptop or switch off your screen. Make sure your spine is straight, your feet are firmly on the ground, your legs don't cross, and then you put you connect your fingertips together like this, and you put them on your lap. And this helps from the mindfulness perspective to connect both hemispheres of your brain, to balance both hemispheres of your brain. Yeah, so you feel very focused. And then all you do, and you can do it with me, guys, now. I invite you to do it now rather than just looking at me. I want to see you doing it. We have to do something practical. You can't just listen to me. So you connect your fingertips together and just put them on your palm. Make sure your spine is straight. Yeah, and all you have to do, you're gonna close your eyes and you're gonna inhale through your nose on a count to 4 in your head. And then exhale through your mouth on a count to 6. And just do it 10 times. And this is a scientifically proven way to reduce anxiety and stress when your inhales are shorter than your exhales. So inhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Just 10 times. And slow your breathing right down. And when you're down, when you're finished, you can keep your eyes closed and just inhale through your nose, and you hold your breath for as long as you can. And that way you reset your nervous system. So it helps you to reset your nervous system as well. And then you can open your eyes when you're ready. So I'm sure you feel a little bit more peaceful. Yeah? And we've just done it like, how, 2 minutes maybe? So imagine the power. It's nice to do it together as well, because you have this group energy, and you kind of, your brain can't tell you, oh, let's do something else. So something, again, I invite companies to do before you start the meeting and after. It's such a beautiful practice. You almost get the space all of a sudden. You feel more focused. You feel more clarity. I love it. Absolutely love it. As one of you mentioned, time today is our most precious resource. And again, it's up to you. You've been given this time. It's your gift. Use it for different things. Use it for work, but also use it for things that fulfill you, or maybe your childhood dreams. Personally, I got my first skateboard. I'm already snowboarding and surfing, but like, my son told me, I don't want to know you're having a crisis, but I don't care. Like, I've decided, I've got all this time, beautiful weather, I want to exercise, I'm going to learn how to skateboard. I know people learning how to play musical instruments, or how to cook, or how to become stronger. And it's up to you. You can say, well, I haven't got motivation. Actually, no, try and think, what are things you wanted to accomplish maybe since childhood, but you couldn't. And it gives so much satisfaction, I promise you. Also requires motivation, but it definitely pays off. Anyone started new hobbies, guys? Anyone learning something new?
We started learning Spanish.
Okay. Yeah, many people learn languages. Yeah.
My Spanish is pretty good, but my son couldn't speak it, so we started learning Spanish together. And then a lot of DIY, like the same as Holly. The amount of stuff that I used to get people to come in and do. So I've been YouTubing. I fitted shelves. I've wood filled. I've built a desk and cut it out. What? Many things I've done. Even I'm like, oh my God, no way! I didn't even know I could do it.
Yeah. I've made a space in the garden to grow some vegetables, so I'm going to start growing some food.
Beautiful.
See how that goes. I'm not the most green fingered of people, so I'm not sure how that will work, but I'm going to give it a go.
So again, we're still going to be in lockdown, I think, for a little while. So use this time, do something different, recreate something at different level, as a work or personal life or family life, etc. Also, what else can help you to act as a victim, not a victim? If you just on the micro level within your day. So don't think too big, think day. You can choose to do things every day that give you a sense of pleasure, achievement, and connection. So every morning you can write, okay, what is one thing I'm going to do that gives me pleasure? What is one thing I'm going to do that gives me a sense of achievement? And what who I'm going to connect with today that's going to give me that kind of, I've connected, I had a really good chat, I've been listened to, and I've listened to someone. And it's very powerful. It's very powerful in facilitating that victor mindset. So I would really encourage you to remember this formula. pleasure, achievement, and connection every day. So the other thing is, I think, Nat, you talked about in the beginning, I think, Carla, you mentioned it. What do you want your future to look like after COVID-19? So many people think about going back to normal. Can't wait to go back to normal. But we didn't really, did we like this normal prior to what happened? We all can see the difference that us stopping is already making on the planet, on our environment, on our mental health, in a good and bad way. So we have time to evaluate. So you can choose this time to envision your future after COVID-19, what it may look like, for your family, for your business, for society as a whole, and for the planet. It's up to you to be creative with your vision and get excited rather than get sad and feel like you don't have any sense of control. And also, the last slide I want to share with you is like, this is a picture from Economist, that the planet is closed. But it's interesting that also, you know, we are all leaders in our own way. We are maybe just leaders of ourselves, maybe leaders of our own family, we leaders of our own business or teams, of organizations, all kind of different level of leaders. But this is a new skill set that we need in today's planetary situation, and this is about unifying people together behind single purpose, where we all feel connected and we contributing towards the planet and making it better. We are cultivating staying calm, having this deliberate calm, and some of the practices I've shown you today that help that. We're showing optimism, bounded optimism, realistic optimism, but we still remain optimistic, and this is victim mentality. That's how it gets connected. We demonstrate empathy even when we communicate with someone through Zoom, for example. And when we do have this work conversation, we have to also embrace human connections today. And we also communicate effectively, because the way we communicate has changed. We need to learn to be more effective, more articulate, more intuitive as well. How do people feel? How can I contribute? Every word matters now, because people can't see me. As we know, some secrets behind communication. When we have face-to-face communication, it's often our energy, that people read. It's not so much our words. It's only, I think it's 53% matters what we speak, the words we speak, but the rest is our voice, is how we articulate ourselves, our gestures. So it's very important to start speaking, thinking about the words you're saying. And I think that's it. This is just to tell you, if you want to hear more from other experts, we also run online wellness challenges, shift your mindset challenges. We have online psychologists, so feel free. We have free well-being tools as well, so feel free to visit our website or contact me. Guys, we're always happy to help. We've got plenty of expertise, resources, etc. And it was a joy to share this time with you today. Thank you. I feel more motivated.
Amazing.
Thank you.
That was great.